Welcome to We Got a Problem, guys. So it was brought to my attention earlier by a viewer that Jess Phillips had appeared on the Have I Got News For You show talking about the sargon of akkad milkshake gate fiasco that's going on. So I took a little time out to have a little listen to the actual show and watch it. And she proceeds to call Carl, sargon of akkad, the Ukip MEP, a neckbeard. She also thinks she's better than him and that she's beaten him by being better than him, which we will discuss a little more in a minute, along with multiple other things where she contradicts herself, as you can expect. The BBC are also think it's controversial for the police to stop companies selling milkshakes if they're going to be thrown at politicians, which is baffling if you ask me. But first of all, let's take a little look at what they think about Farage's tweet, where he says he's going to don khaki and go and fight on the front lines to make sure Brexit happens. Now, of course, that's not literal, but they say about it, so we'll listen to that here.
Well, I tell you what, if you like a strong leader, who said this recently? I'll don khaki, pick up a rifle and head for the front lines to defend Brexit.
Some prick.
Mark Francois, it fits that description.
It wasn't Mark Francois.
No, it was Farage.
Oh, some prick.
Farage. And what's he been wearing recently, Nigel Farage?
Milkshake.
Shall we have a look at the moment where it all went wrong?
Good advert for Waterstones there, though, isn't it?
And for milkshakes.
Fundamental difference between us and American culture, really. The President Kennedy, Nigel Farage.
Why milkshake? Why is that the thing people throw?
It makes a mess, doesn't it?
Well, there was a time where people were saying eggs could hurt. You know,
Yes.
when Prescott was hit one. I mean, an egg might hurt, whereas a milkshake, it's just a milkshake.
Yeah.
I reckon it's because the Ramonas are in the pockets of Big Dairy.
It does give the impression that his rosette is spouting milk.
He also just said he was going to don khakis and go over and fight on the beaches. He's, you know, whinging about a milkshake. You wouldn't have him on the front line, would you?
But he might be being unfair. He might be lactose intolerant.
He's intolerant, generally.
Yes.
Other candidates of the milkshake attack trend include the UKIP MEP candidate, Carl Benjamin. You familiar with that gentleman, Jess?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the neckbeard that is Carl Benjamin. No, I don't think that you should throw things at politicians. I don't think that you should attack them. I think you should win by being better than them, which is what I am currently doing to Carl Benjamin.
In what actual way are you winning against Carl Benjamin and using the fact that you're better than him to do it? You are using the BBC and other media like the Huffington Post, who are contemptible at best, to push your narrative, to call him a racist, to call him this, to call him that, when actually you've made light of rape yourself about the Cologne attacks, as I've already said before. So you can hardly sit there and complain about how he's terrible and all this, because he said it when you said about Cologne victims being no different to a Friday night in Birmingham, which is obviously wrong. That's not like anywhere, I don't think, in the world what happened in Cologne. That was like a one-off situation, so saying it's like Birmingham is ridiculous. And then to also say that you would stab Jeremy Corbyn in the front, not the back, I mean, that's a direct threat to violence compared to saying someone would not do something to you. It seems like you haven't even got a clue, like you're just delusional living in some bubble where you don't know what you're talking about. You're not beating him because you're better than him, you're beating him because you're smearing him in the media. That's obvious.
What I find absolutely fascinating about this whole furore over the milkshake is, of course, yes, you shouldn't attack people, but McDonald's stopped selling milkshakes because they were posing a threat to far-right hate preachers.
You mean they banned people selling milkshakes because people were throwing them at legitimate political candidates? Surely if they were hate preachers, the rules of elections wouldn't allow them to stand. But none of them have broken any laws. You know what I mean? None of them, there's no law that can be said that they have actually broken that can stop them from running. So what are you talking about?
And yet the videos of this man talking about whether he would or wouldn't rape me remain on YouTube to this day.
The videos remain on YouTube because they do not breach YouTube's guidelines, as they are clearly satirical, the same as the whole series that the video contained in has been. All of his This Week in Stupid videos are satirical. It's in the name, This Week in Stupid. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's about stupid things. It's not going to be a serious thing, is it? I mean, oh my God. When you have to explain jokes to people, they're either dumb or have an agenda, which in her case, she has an agenda. She needs one thing to be true. The other can't be true, because then she's got no leg to stand on. When she said worse things than him, as I've already said multiple times, she said much worse than that joke, and the following joke after it. The second joke was actually funny, because I get the beer joke, you know what I mean? There's not enough beer. And he's right, look at her horse face. There's not enough beer. But let's carry on.
So we are massively over-egging this particular pudding about the milkshakes.
Let's take a look at the controversial notice put up in a McDonald's in Edinburgh during a Brexit rally earlier this week. We will not be selling milkshakes or ice cream tonight. This is due to a police request, given recent events.
That's even worse. It's the police telling them not to sell it.
It is just...
But it's only milkshakes. And you could presumably go in and buy a McFlurry.
No, it does say ice creams.
Well, and also Burger King was still selling milkshakes. This is what they tweeted. Dear people of Scotland, we're selling milkshakes all weekend. Love BK.
So I don't see why this BBC host thinks that it's controversial for the police to stop a company selling something that people are throwing at legitimate political candidates. It's the police's job to prevent crime, not just tackle it after it happens. They should be preventing it as well. Now, to prevent crime, they stop McDonald's selling it. And Burger King to come out and say that we're selling them all weekend so they can throw them at people. What are they doing? That's just ridiculous. I see this the other day, but I didn't want to say anything about it because, quite frankly, I don't like Burger King anyway. So I guarantee if someone started attacking Corbyn or, well, they couldn't attack Theresa May now. She's bunkered down and on her way out. But if they started attacking Conservative Tory MPs, oh my God, there'd be uproar. Like, imagine if people started attacking Jess Phillips. It'd be sexism or misogyny. It'd be everything, you know what I mean? They'd probably be trying to rape her with the milkshakes knowing this. Unbelievable. Alright, it's going to be the end of the video, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, as I'm always interested to see what you guys say.